house, so there's a little bit more room today. So find a little seat, find a buffet. I'm up at the house because with me filming the Distinctly Dylusions, the week-long class, I need to do that live, and so I don't have the bandwidth down in the studio to do that yet. So rather than go up, down every day, I just thought, oh, I would do it up here. Oh, just let me show you. Look what arrived in the post for me this morning. This beautiful necklace that Martha made for me. It's precious jewels. I'm just going to take it off while I'm filming because it's jangling, but I've had it on all day. So where were we? I don't know what you've seen, what you haven't seen. I think I've talked about those. I think I did that. Yeah. So this was the 10th of May. This was Monday. No, this is Sunday, the 10th of May, and I was going to do about my week class, but I ended up, our Prime Minister gave some advice, and it was a bit rubbish. We couldn't work it out. So this was that page. This is what we did in the Sunday night class. So I used the frames and the doodling, and I actually put government advice, go out, but not out, just out. Which makes no sense, but that's exactly what the advice made no sense. I've just put what a crock of shit there. And then on this one, I already had this drawing. This was stamped across here. So I didn't want to use all of them. So I took a black tag and I just shaped it down the side with the journal block. I don't know where, there we go. So I cut it off. And then, because I wanted it to match this page, so I wrote here, these two phases. This is from Monday, the 11th of May. And this is from Wednesday, the 13th of May, and this is what you could do, etc. So I just wrote it down, and I used it in the same colours that I used over here, and then just added some stickers in. So that was Sunday. And then yesterday was the start of the online class. So that was my 6-day online class, the mental health class. And I really liked this quote, so I wrote it down. It says, buy a notebook, write down what you want, write down what hurts you, show it to someone you love, save it for your kids, burn it in your backyard. Either way, go to bed knowing that in some way those things are out of you. And I loved it, and I couldn't find out who wrote it, so I just put writer unknown there. So that's got the quotes. And again, I was going to film yesterday, but then I realised all you'd be seeing me doing is all this writing. Okay, so this is today. So then I cut a window as well. I cut a window through because I had quite a few double pages, so I just cut that window. So this is today. This is Tuesday, the 12th of May. Now this is I don't know if you remember me telling you, this book was made in a, oh look what's tomorrow. Gosh, it's already on there. This journal was made in a class when I was teaching somewhere. So there's all sorts in it. And this is actually shimmer. I'm not sure if the video will pick that up, but this is shimmer sprays. And I've obviously ghosted it with the star stencil, and then I've just drawn around it with white. So that was already on there, but that's a lot of shimmer for me. Those of you who know me, I like a bit of shimmer. I don't like a ton. So like this bit that came out of there, that's the shimmer I like. I like bits like that. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some black to it. And I'm going to use one of my shape stencils, and I haven't really used these. These are shape stencils. They come like this, and they come in a pack of 4, and you get this and you get the inside. Okay, so there's one that suits, that's got the diamonds, the clubs, the spades. There's one that shapes, and this one, I can't remember what this one is called, but you get 4, so you get 8 pieces. You get the outside, you get the inside as well. Okay, they work like the stencils do. You could stencil through them, but I think I'm going to do it, am I going to do it the opposite way? Am I going to stencil through? Ooh, I was going to do it the opposite way, but actually I think I quite like the idea of, let's have a look. It's funny, isn't it? You get in your head what you're going to do, and then I come on here and I change my mind. I'm trying to use the ones that are current at the moment because a lot of them are not current. No, I'm going to do it the way I said. The way I said I was going to do it. So, I'm going to use the teardrop. I don't know why I'm going to use that teardrop. So I'm going to pop those away. Okay. Just, oh, this is why I try and keep things separate. Some of these you can't get anymore, but you might have them at home. I love the masks. That's what I call them, masks. I've just got to reply to this. Typical, isn't it? Otherwise they'll panic. Everything's on Do Not Disturb at the moment, so they'll be ringing me. Oops. Okay, so I've got this. So you could normally use it as a stencil, but I'm going to do it the other way around. Now I've got this window here, which is not going to be any, good for me because I don't want black to get on here. So I'm going to place this piece of card underneath, okay, because I don't mind if I get black on this piece of card here. I've got my black paint, I've got my blending tool. This was just from last night. And what you do with this time is you place it on where you want it to be, and then you put the black paint around it, and then you move it, okay? So maybe I'll have a whole thing there. So I'm just going to squeeze out some of the black paint. You don't want too much. Less is more, as usual. So I'm going to place it in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around in a circular motion around the shape. Okay, so when I move it, I'm left with the shape in there. And then I'm going to move it to here. And then this time as I go around it, I'm going to join it. Can you see I've joined it to here? So I'm going to place, oh, I need to turn my book because I'm right-handed. There we go. So I'm going to place it there and then join it up. And then I will, let's have a look. Let's go down here. And place one here. And every time you add an extra one, you join it onto the one that's already there, because otherwise it's really difficult to join them up. Try not to get too much paint on your blending tool, otherwise you'll make a bit of a mess because it will seep underneath, and we don't really want that. Let me see, let's have one there. So I'm going to go around here, and can you see how it's going to come on the card? And if I hadn't to put that piece of card there, it would have gone through the window onto the back. Can you see? So it's gone onto there. So let's have just a little bit of it here, a bit more black paint. So I'm going to come round there, and I'm just going to turn it round for ease. I haven't used my masks for a while. I've been using the stencils. I love my masks. And then I'm going to have another one. Let's see there. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in any gaps that are left. Okay, and this, I'll clean it off. I'll clean it off on this pale page, actually. Piece of dry kitchen roll. Oh, a bit at the bottom. Oh, actually, I forgot. It's so warm in here. Just let me wet it first. That everything's drying really quickly because I'm up at the house, aren't I? It's warmer in the house than it is in the studio. Anyway, there we go. So I've got my shape there, and I'll utilise that another time. Sorry if everything's wobbling. Okay, so let's clear this up. So if I was using the stencil part of it, this would have been black and all this would have been, what's the word, left coloured. So I'm just going to take the black along the edge as well to frame it. Okay, so anywhere where it's gone on the edge, I'm just running the thing round. Okay, and then you have to wait for it to dry. You'll still see, because I drew with a white pen, you'll still see those bits underneath, but now it just needs to wait for it to dry. So I shall be back shortly. Okay, so that's nice and dry. So I need to decide what I'm going to do with it. Do I use white as I normally do, or do I go with some of the colours that are there? I think I'm going to go with white because I've already got white there. So let me just find a white pen. That one works. So what I normally do to start with is I outline the shape. And if you can see, I leave a little bit of a border. I do like a bit of that black to show. So around I go with that. You could put the shape back on if you wanted and draw around it if you didn't feel comfortable being freehand. It's entirely up to you. I'm also going to go around this frame as well, so I'm just going to do that first. I think I'm just going to put the checked board around, but obviously on the black it'll be done in white, and on the white it'll be done, on the pearl it'll be done in black. So I'll just finish outlining this. Can you see how it makes them pop? I used to have small shapes in these as well. You might still be able to find some of those kicking around, which have got much smaller designs, but I don't think they've been out for a while. But this last set that includes this, there we go, I didn't do smaller designs in there really. So I'm just going to finish this frame here. So wherever I've got the pearl, I've used the black pen, and wherever I've got the white, I've used the other pen, and then it will work. It will work as long as I've got that accentuated. That's the thing. And then I think I'll probably doodle in here, and then I'll write whatever it is I want to do there. So let's find a stencil. What stencil shall we have? Maybe this one? Yeah, and so I'm going to doodle through the stencil, but I'm only going to doodle on the dark bits, okay? And you don't want to use my pen to doodle through a stencil because my pen has got such a fine nib and this is quite sharp, and we don't want to cut the pen. So I'm just going to place it on and then just make sure you're on the black. You don't want to be on anything else. If you are, you can always go over it again with a black pen to disguise it. Maybe I should have chosen a simpler design. Sorry, I wasn't thinking of the time factor. I was just thinking that I just love, this is called Quilt. I just love this stencil. So I'm just going round it. And I've not really used the shimmers in this, have I? I tend not to use ink on things that I'm demoing because it just takes that little bit longer to cure, so we have to wait quite a long time. If I'd have sprayed this shimmer to start with, we would have had to wait 24 hours before we could have done anything on the top. So I tend to sort of use things that are a bit quicker that you can see straight away. Let's do this. But it's always nice to have a bit. I don't use a ton of ink in these Dyalogs either. I tend to use mainly paint because there's just one signature, there's just one row of stitching. And if you're a bit heavy-handed, you will wet that stitching and it will break and your book will fall to bits. So I just put a few pages in, a bit here, a bit there, that's all. Because it's a bit thick to re-stitch. You could punch holes and you know, stitch it back, but you couldn't do it on a machine or anything like that. And I can't be bothered. You know, so I save my ink for my big journals. I've got some classes coming up that are using ink. I've got one on Sunday is it the 17th? That's using ink. Doing a Sunday the 17th of May, sorry, using a faux bleach effect. And then the following week we're doing a full-blown double page with inks. Ink is my ultimate favourite. I just adore the effect you get with ink. Nearly there. It's very quiet without you on the days where I'm not filming. I miss you when I get up, but I'm just so busy, just trying to do everything that something had to give. So I hope you're still enjoying when I do pop up. If you subscribe to the YouTube, and then you'll get a notification when it comes up. And, you know, go on the Dylusions page, the Dan Reevely Dylusions, because the days when I'm not doing a video, they'll be posted on there, will be either just a picture, you know, or a description, something like that. So there we are. This is when I normally look at it and see I've missed something, but actually I haven't. Some of those, I just want to go over them a little bit more. And then what shall I do now? I think I'm going to doodle in this bit. So what I normally do is get an angle. So I'll start here and I'm just going to zigzag along. So everything that goes that way. So then my hand is in the same position all the time. So I just keep going up. Can you see my hand doesn't move? But my hand might move, but the position doesn't move. And when you do a ton of doodling, that really helps stop your hand cramping. And then when I get to the end, I'm going to turn the book so that my hand is still in that natural position. You know, that's how I would normally write. But this time I'm going to go this way. Always make things easier for yourself. Just little bits around there. Start doodling and then you think it's never going to end, and then when it ends you're like, oh, what's happened? So then I think I'm just going to put a stripe in the downward ones, so I'm just going to do that. You can do a lot less doodling, but you all know what I'm like for my doodling. And then I'll probably write something in each of these. I had lots of lovely things going on today. It's been delivery central here. I just seem to have had non-stop deliveries and pickups. We ordered a new stand for filming that would reach right across the desk and get really good. And when it arrived, it wasn't a stand at all. It was a photo booth with the stand sticker on the top. So that had to be picked up this morning to go back. And then I've had a fabulous delivery of fabric from my wonderful friend Jill at Whimsadoodle. Some Tula Pink, homemade. So that came. Some Amazon deliveries. And obviously my necklace from Martha. So it's been a very busy delivery day. Every time, and the window cleaner's been, every time I've sat down to try and do some filming, I've had notification of parcels. So you get days like that, don't you? I don't normally notice because I'm never at home. Emmy normally has to do all this, but she's not here, so. And I could always put a photo in any of these bits as well if I wanted to brighten them up, or just add a die cut over the top or something like that. Look, you see, I keep finding squiggly bits that I've missed. This would have looked nice in a pink paint pen or a orange. They would have looked really nice. These shimmers I've got here, this is bubblegum pink, this is squeezed orange, and this is crushed grape. Now normally you would not use those colours together. You could use these two together and you could use these two together, but you wouldn't put a purple with an orange. But because it's a shimmer, when they mix, it just looks bronze. Bronze you can get away with. Normally it would be a muddy brown, which you don't want. But with the shimmers, you can be, it's a bit easier because you get this gorgeous metallic-y bronze colour. So they're a bit more forgiving. Am I nearly there? I bet you're all shouting, no, there's one there you've missed. Let's have a look. Yep, so I'm going to turn these circles into little flowers. I always like to do something a bit different so that if I use this stencil again, it will look different. Every time I use it, I will do it slightly different. And that's the trick of making your pages look different. I might take a photo of me wearing my necklace actually and pop that down there. But I'll have to do that later. If I do, you'll see it up on the at the start of the video. The finished picture will be there and you'll be like, oh, where did that picture come from? There we are, that's cool. So, what am I going to do now? So I'm going to write in here, but actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some dots around these. So let's find, where are? Could be anywhere. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. These are the Moonlight pens that I got the other day. So let's use a pink. That's a different pink. I'll decide which one I want. There's a purple. These are the glaze ones, so they're going to be really nice and wet. And there's an orange. I think I'll do that last, actually. So, because otherwise I'm going to smudge. So let's do this check here. So to do the check on this side, I'm just going to do black checks. Can you see? And then on the other side, I'm just going to do white. So it makes one frame, but it'll be slightly different as it goes round. if you're a bit gung-ho, put something underneath so it doesn't make a big mess through. So that's it with the black. And now I shall go in with the white. Just so that that frame stands out. I could always add a little bit of white onto here, but because it's an ink, the ink is going to come through, so the white will come up pink, which will be quite nice, quite subtle. So it's not going to be as bold on this side because it's going on top of inks. Oh, missed up here. There we are. So you can still see where that frame comes out. And when you look at it this way, you're just going to see that bit. Okay. So, I think I'm going to put the date there. So what did I say it was? 12th. And it was Tuesday. May. There we go, that goes up there. So I want to talk about, I got the necklace from Maisie. I had delivery of Tula Pink, that can go here from, I had, not Maisie, Martha. Okay, so here we go. Martha made me a beautiful necklace and sent it by post. Okay, let's put my little dots on. Because I'm writing on ink, it's a bit more muted, but that will be fine. If it disappears, sometimes it'll disappear in. If it does, I'll go over it with a colour as well. Yeah, so I'm going to put up here, let's wait for that to dry. Online class part 2 at 7:30 p.m. So that will be starting shortly. As soon as I've cleared up from this, actually, fabulous last night, fabulous. Online class part 2 here, great FaceTime with the lovely Jill. This is a good way. I do this in my diary a lot. I make shapes and then I just write in each shape, just for something a bit different. Okay, and here I had, I'm going to write that, oh no, I'm going to go this way. So, delivery of Tula Pinks Homemade, and that's a line of fabric that she did. Tula Pink is one of my favourite designers of fabric. Along with Tim, Mr. Tim Holtz, Anna Marie Horner and Alexander Henry. They are my favourite fabrics. Some for doing clothes, some for doing projects like the quilting or the English paper piecing, and some for both. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put surprise there. Surprise delivery. Because it was. I wasn't expecting it. Surprise delivery there. And the window wash man came. So, had my windows washed. Oh, do you know, in years to come, when people look through my pandemic diary, they'll be like, oh, do you think it'll be like something Anne Frank did? Will it be really interesting? And then they'll go, oh, she had a delivery of fabric and she had her windows washed. But do you know what? It's interesting to me. It's making history with me. So, there we go. I might put a photo. I don't know. Should I put a photo? Should I put... It's weird up here because I haven't got everything that I would normally have. That could fit it. I don't have an attitude problem. That one says attitude problem. I don't have an attitude problem today. Maybe there, but I would have to cut it in half. Do I want that? I don't know. Oh, the dilemmas, the dilemmas. Quite like that because it's pink. What else have we got? I think I might go with that, but I think I quite like her up there. But I would have to gut her straight up her, unless I moved her over. If I moved her over slightly, I'm going to have to cut her no matter what I do, but you'll get some of that peeping through. So let's move her to there. If I put down there, no, because then I'm just going to see the back of her head. I quite like her over there. So where did I crease that? So you can see where I pressed a crease in. So if I just cut straight up there, then that will sit there. This will sit there. Oh, where's the other bit? There we go. There's the little bit of on the top of her head, and oh yes, she'll just be peeping round. So let's glue that in. Let's have her in. If I want to do a photo, I'll probably just put a flip out page. I can always add a page here that I can put some photos into. I never like folding this. I find it always comes apart, so I'd much rather cut it and then glue it in two parts. And I've heard some people go, oh well, it looks like you cut it. Do you know what? That's because that's what I did. So when that's pressed, oops, oh, I've squeezed that in. So now when I close that and press, I'll just see a little bit of her peeping over the top. So do I want to add any more? I could add her there if I wanted to. Actually, that green, that's quite good there, but then she's too big. Do I want another one? I quite like him there. Do I like him there or do I like him there? Oh! You see? This is my life. Where do I want? I'm going to put him in there. Okay, but I just want him to there. So I'm just, did you see? I just folded it, turned it over. Stick that in. I'm going to fill up the spaces with my lovely little collage people. I think this is either set 6 or 7 of my die cuts. It's DY die cuts. So it's either 6 or 7. I think I'm just looking for the sake of looking now. I don't really think I want anything else in there, but this is too big. I just feel I want something here, but I don't know. Oh, let me have a look in the sticker book. There might be something in the sticker book that I want. I just feel that's a little bit bare in there. I brought my little box with my diary stuff in. Oh, I know. Oh, I have some of the smaller ones. Oh, what about the cat? Because that was pink. Or I could put my houses because it's my little castle. I think I'm going to have her. So let's pop her with my cat there. Yes, am I happy? Let's see if we've got one small. Did I have those smaller? What about this one? Yeah, I like that there. Okay, so let's pop those away over there. I'm just going to outline them with the white pen as I outline everything to make it stick down. To make it grounded into the page. Otherwise they can get a little bit lost. This one's got white round already, but I am actually going to still give it the same treatment. There we are. And then I was going to use these, wasn't I? So on the pink, I'm going to use the orange. And all I'm going to do is I'm just in between the shape and the white line onto the black. Let me just get a little pad here. I'm just going to make some blobby dots. But these take a little while to dry. These are the glaze pens, so they're slightly raised and they'll just take a little bit time to dry. So just be careful when you're doing this that you don't smudge them. Okay, and then on this one over here, I think I'm going to do the purple. I've just picked the same, the same colours that are on that the shimmer inks were. This is probably doodle overload, but I do love my doodling. To me, it is the little details. Okay, And I think this one can be purple. And this one can be pink. Do I want bright pink or do I want this pink? I think I'm going to go bright. And actually that writing's looking okay now. Sometimes the ink will pull it in, and I would go over it again with a white pen just on top of that, the black writing. And here, you can't really see where I put necklace. I'm just, there we go. Change the end there, then you can see it in there. Oh, missed this one off. Did them all but that one. So I've got to give that a few minutes to dry, but when you turn it, you're going to see part of that, the little eye. I like that, the little bit peeking out the top. And there's my page. Fabulous. So tomorrow's page is probably not going to be a video. This purple isn't showing, so I'm going to go back in here and put the orange over the top. The purple just is not showing up brilliantly on the black page. This is popping more. So just going to go back over it. Oops. So tomorrow's page is probably just going to be a photo. I'll do a before and after, because if you remember, I'll show you in a minute. My stenciling, etc. is already... oh, I've missed one over there. My stenciling, my silhouette is already on the page. And you know how to do that because we did that in one of the earlier day by days. So all I have to do, oh, I'm getting a croaky throat, is I'll show you it, and then I'll do a before picture and an after picture. So there we go. That's my, I'm really happy with that now. That's my page for today. And then let me hold that so it doesn't thing. So this is tomorrow. So that's already there. So I'll take a photo of that as the before, and then I will take a photo of it afterwards for the after. Okay, wonderful. See you later. Bye.